Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Povey and Oz. Hope we're all doing really well. If you are new around here, please like and subscribe. It just means the world to me. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to look at the day that was Carlton Collingwood. So without any further ado, let's talk about it. So, I mean, for those who saw my fan cams, firstly, I just wanted to have a disclaimer. Everyone who's reached out to me about my emotional fan cam, I really appreciate it. I'm a broken man, but this video is kind of serves two purposes. One, it's a welfare check, so everyone knows that I'm still here, still kicking. And two, I need to get some things off my chest about what I saw, really, which was disappointing. So as we know, we went down to our old enemy, and one thing that was apparent from me from the outset was Collingwood bought in to what this game meant. And I know that we have a bit of banter with Collingwood and stuff, but hats off to you. You get it. From Mason Cox kissing his badge when he kicks a goal, there's the difference in our team and their team. You have got a foreigner, and I'm a foreigner, and to buy into something is the culture you generate. Now, the reason that I bought into the culture is the people that I sat with. I sat with Nick Wishart, Nat Gasper, Michelle Caruso, Shannon Gore, the cheer squad. And their infectious personality, that is what I came into with this club when I first came here. The infectious personality. It made me want to research the history of this club. And Carlton Football Club means fucking something. It means something to a lot of people. There was people I was sat with who took 3 fucking trains to the game. You've got people like Terry Degani, myself. Like, you don't know the abuse that I personally get making these videos from my family, because it's a full-time job and it's done out of love and passion. We don't get paid for it. To see 22 men, 17 of them walk out representing, I think, that hard work, them 3 trains, them travelling in the pouring rain, the editing, the research you do into videos, putting performances like that makes me question everything about everything. And it breaks. And I think it's quite simple. People have asked me how you fix it. It's inner standards. It's inner standards. Do you have what it takes? And I blame myself for this. I do, because I'm probably the world's worst. We look for single things. Like, you could say Fogarty had a good game. He did. But that's not good enough at this level. That is where the issue is. A lot of these players think doing enough is good enough. The goals have changed, though. We're not in a rebuild anymore. We're meant to be playing the 8. And the problem is when you feed that mentality to a group of players, and it's mainly our over 25s that feel like that, they don't have the drive. You see it in sportsmen. If you pander to mediocrity and expectation isn't high enough, eventually they give you what they have been told. And there isn't enough will. There isn't enough determination in this group of men. And that is a huge issue. And I could, fuck it, I'll single him out. Mark Murphy has the intensity to win that I do when I order my Friday night pizza. It's cash. It is really casual. It is so casual. The difference between Mickey Gibbons and Zach Fisher is one of them has had his career almost taken away, and then he's got his opportunity and he's taken it, where the other one thinks having a Sticks Kernahan haircut and kicking 4 goals once against West Coast makes you King Dick. Patrick Cripps has been fed that by being a contested bull because you're 6'4" and built like a Greek Adonis, it's acceptable just to wander around like that. My biggest concern is when the 4th quarter, when you've got a talent like Zach Williams, actively not look to handball and pass, is a sign that he doesn't have faith in those around him. When I see Lockie Plowman giggling all game, when the guy is getting a bigger bath than a christening, man. Absolutely baffed. And he's laughing at that. It's because he's laughing out of desperation of what do I do? And it's because he doesn't know what to do. Simple as. He hasn't got a clue. He hasn't got the foggiest mindset of what is expected to stop a Degoe. Structurally, emotionally and physically, he hasn't got it. He doesn't know that there is a level from where he is. There is another level, though. You look at this team, there is another level a lot of these players can go. And the way you unlock that is expectation. And the expectation internally on that club, you see it in David Teague's press conference. He's happy with that. He's not angry. He's disappointed. But he needs to be angry for the level 3 and 4 and 5 in them to be unlocked. He has to be angry at level 2 and level 3 performances now. And he's not. And that is a huge issue with the club. Its expectation, its drive, its desire. And you can talk all day structurally. Look at Adelaide last week against Geelong. Structurally, they were easy to break down. Geelong could pick them apart. They couldn't do it though because the will to implement and impact the game was so strong that Geelong couldn't find that easy ball. There's an old saying in soccer that Bill Shankly said it, you are most vulnerable when you score a goal because good teams want another one, mediocre teams want to admire their work. And watch Carlton when we score, we concede because they're admiring their work. They are happy with every individual thing that they do that's good. And they don't see that every individual thing they do that's good leads to a bigger stage. And it's because they haven't been taught that every single thing they do, the moments that are good, lead to the bigger picture, the end goal. And that is ultimately winning games of football matches. I don't buy into a culture of losing, and I don't buy into a culture of winning. Because if you look and you dissect it, it's like anything mental. If you follow the processes, you will get the end result. And at the moment, I feel the processes and the expectation of these boys is still 3 years ago, that mindset of improve. And that is where you went wrong. That is where we all went wrong as a fan base, as a club, as a collective. We pandered to these players and said that the expectation is just keep trying. And trying is a no-brainer in professional sport. These guys are very privileged position to be in. How many people kept their job in COVID? Not many. These guys did. They got to focus on their game and they came with a longevity program to keep their careers in a real hard time where many people have lost it. And when you go out with that mindset of, it's okay. When I see Doc shrug his shoulders and look at Wheaterin when Wheaterin's got his hands up like, what the fuck have you done, Doc? And he's kind of like, it's Carlton, isn't it? It's Carlton. It's what we do. Fuck up. There's the problem. And it needs to change. And the way you change that, in my opinion, and I'd love to hear your guys and girls' thoughts on this, the expectation levels need to change. The expectations levels need to change dramatically because there's a few there that give a shit. And I saw them walk off the ground. There's a few, though, that would have probably gone and played FIFA at the end of that game, being like, this is cool. We deserve better. We deserve better. Let me show you something. That monogram there. That monogram there actually fucking means something, gentlemen. Actually means something. To many people, that, for me personally, represents finding a beautiful family. For me personally, that represents finding a family. It represents finding my beautiful wife, my kids, my father-in-law, all the people that I see every day. It represents something huge to me. It represents the friends and family I've made in Blue Abroad. It means when I see that Carlton Guernsey, that means home to me. It means when I took Pommyland and made Australia my home. For others, it's 40-hour work weeks, 2 hours release. For some, it means the world. It means the world. It means so much. And if you can come out and you can give that performance, it says a lot about you. This team is lost in standards. It's the expectation levels of these gentlemen now is so low, is so incredibly low, that they think they can just get away with performing like that. Because they've been taught for the last 4 or 5 years that being competitive is good enough. And now they've lost that will to go to the next level. Mason Cox kissing the badge says he buys into everything Collingwood is about. Good and bad. They're going through a hell at the moment, off field. And you could say deservedly so, but the players, they've got to focus on their job through all that negativity. And they are finding a way out of the negativity by putting in heart, passion and desire. 7 and 9 of our blokes don't care. 6 years into the rebuild, And we have players playing for us that most players should have been usurped. Look at Liam Stocker. You look at the time, Gold Coast didn't have that priority pick. They weren't expected to get it. We were the bookies' favourites to get the wooden spoon. We potentially traded Matt Rowell for Liam Stocker, and at the moment he's languishing in the reserves. Why is he not playing? Like, now is the time you play them, because I'm telling you, I saw the look in their eyes. I saw the giggles. I saw the fucking about. I saw the pretty Elliot Yo, Patrick Cripps. Not care. Not care. He doesn't care enough. Because he drives that culture, and the culture that's been led by them senior players is woeful. To see Doc not once point in the backline, but Wheatering does, shows where we're going wrong. For too long we've pandered to mid-class players, mid-age players now they are, and they're the drivers of most clubs. It's not the senior players, it's usually that core mid-age, that 24 over, that drive the club. And their culture is good enough, is good enough. 7 out of 10. He's good enough. Where's the 3? I say that to my kids. How can we get 10? Like, where did we go wrong? What do we need to improve for next time? Constantly changing the goals. These boys, if you ask what Carlton Football Club means, I've told you what it means to me. I sat with the cheer squad, Natalie Gasper, Shannon Gore, Nick Wishart. They fucking love this club. Love it. Like I say, a guy taking 3 trains in rain or shine every day to see Carlton. They love it. It means something to them. It represents something. And we give you support when you do the shittest things. And you can't give me 2 hours. You're telling me that. Some of these players are giving 5 out of 10, and they don't know how to give 5 because they're not expected to. I don't think Teague expects it either. I heard his press conference. It's like the dad at school with the kid that's just an idiot all the time, and it's okay. It's just his way, isn't it? Bit too hard, you know, to discipline him. It's a bit too hard to set boundaries. A bit too hard to set guidance, because it would mean I'd have to stop watching maths on a Friday night. And that is the mentality of this club. It's a little bit too hard. You saw it. Fisher put his hand out for pretend tackles. But then you see Foggy goes in because he wants the ball back. Gibbons having to come up with moments of genius in desperation. Because he wants to win. He wants to do that. Because he knows what it takes. He was playing VFL football with posties. Now he's in big time. This is big time. You've made it. You are privileged. In summary, we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. And it starts with us. I put my hand up. I'm the worst. I pick on the positives at times because I don't like feeling like this, and I don't want you guys and girls to feel like it, but I feel like I'm doing a disservice for my club. In closing, those who saw my fan cam, I've spoken to Terry this morning. I'm not giving up, because if I quit, I give up on you. And I couldn't give a shit about the players. Half of them don't deserve us, the club, the monogram, our heart and our love, because they don't want to give it back. But you guys out there don't deserve that. Someone to turn their back on them, because you've got 12 blokes on freaking $500,000 a year that do that to you on a Saturday. And I'm not that. I'm better than that. Needs to change. And together, we can drive that change. I promise you. I love you all with all my heart, whether you're a Carlton fan or you're not. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. It's raw, it's emotional. Pommy out.